The entire team at the Falcon Footy Pod would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and record this podcast. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders, and ancestors, and thank them for their continued connection and contribution to this country's national game.
Hello and welcome to the Falcon Footy Podcast. I'm your host, Clarky, and joining me as always, I've got the beautiful hat-wearing Chris.
The always hat-wearing Chris, some might say.
Hat-wearing Chris, yes. And joining us as well, we've got back series regular Cassie.
Here I am. I'm back.
That's it. And Jessie without the E, she's joined the team. Jess is back again.
Howdy.
It's a very good Taking Back Sunday reference, and
That was a great Taking Back Sunday reference. I'm still trying to get over just referring to Cass as a series regular. That felt like a real dig.
Sorry, permanent cast member, employee,
Featured player.
She's been demoted from social media manager.
Well, guys, in Supercoach terms, and fantasy, sorry, Cass, you would all be premiums to me, and that's what counts. How are we all doing? Cass, you're back from Perth.
I'm back from Perth. I flew back in, and boy, are my arms tired.
Did you go to Chicken Treat while you were over there?
Yes, there is a Chicken Treat at the airport, so I got it on the way out of Perth. Jessie
I love
was
that it's at the airport.
It's there, like you can't miss it. I made Jessie go and find it. He was standing in front of it going, I still don't believe you. This place doesn't exist. But yes, I did get some Chicken Treat on the way out of Perth. I was in Perth for 10 days. I was on Nod Watch, as we discussed at the last podcast recording. I was at the same beach, and I saw someone that looked a lot like Corey Wagner from the Fremantle Dockers. Not bold, so, a bit unsure about him there. But
yeah.
I just kept looking at him.
That'd give away.
He had hair. He had lots of blonde hair. And I just kept looking at him going, oh, is that him? And I was there with my husband with Pete going, I think is that Corey Wagner? But he's just kind of got a generic blonde Fremantle guy vibe. So really it could have been anyone, but it could have been Corey Wagner. So then I thought I'd made it the whole trip without seeing a Fremantle Dockers player. And then I saw Luke Jackson at the airport.
No.
One of the best ones to see.
The best ones to see. And he saw me kind of see him, and he kind of gave me a little, yes, I know that you know who I am, as he kept walking past with his girlfriend. But yes, that was good. Phew, I snuck that one in there.
I think that look was more, he was looking at you going, yes, I know you're Cass from Falcon Footy Podcast.
I just don't have time to give you a soundbite.
Yeah, I won't do a soundbite for you.
Yeah, it's, obviously starstruck, both both ends.
On both ends.
Yeah. Speaking of a loss of joy in Perth, Justin, I don't know, that segues to what we were talking about before. We had to take a quick break. That's going to be in the edit. Dennis Cometti passed away at the age of 76. Too young, if you ask me. Obviously, the voice of a generation of football that will never be repeated. And I think I found the best way that I can only describe it is that he is a commentator who is often imitated but never replicated. And it's so sad to say that. I was wondering if do you guys have any favorite Cometti-isms or particular thoughts or feelings about Dennis?
There's one of my favourite lines of his was when Tony Liberatore went into a bottom of a pack and he got eye gouged or something, and he said he went into the pack optimistically and came out misty optically. That's a favourite. But some of my favourite things from Dennis was actually from the AFL Live, so the AFL video game on PlayStation. So him and Matthew Richardson did the commentary for the first one, which came out maybe around 2017, 2018, around there. Fun fact, Jessie and I used to stream this on Twitch. We used to play each other and stream it on Twitch. But some of the lines that were recorded on there were just so funny. There's some line about his wife stealing his wallet. And pretty much all of his lines are just jokes. I don't think he actually recorded any proper commentary lines. They're just jokes. And it's one of my favorite memories of Dennis Cometti.
So good.
I just love that all the kind of tributes online from anyone that knew him or had met him were just also lovely. And he was so supportive of young journalists and young commentators and helpful as well. Like my friend Dean, who's been on the podcast before, put a post up about saying how he met him early on in his career at Nova, and like he sat down with him and gave him the time and listened to him and chatted with him. And I was like, that's really lovely. The other one was I think Nerily Meadows was another one who said a very similar thing. Like he always had time for young up and coming journalists. So I think that was really nice.
I really liked on Thursday night during the Sydney Carlton game, they had a Channel 7. I don't know if either of you watched it on Channel 7. They actually had a, like, not in memoriam, but like a video package at halftime. And it was really good because it was narrated by Bruce McAvaney.
Yeah.
And obviously they were kind of the dynamic duo for years. And it was really well done. It was really well put together. And yeah, you can tell that it's definitely hit Bruce hard, but you can just tell the special relationship they had. So it was really nice to see on Thursday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the way that Bruce described their relationship was just something that was just so. It kind of hit hard, even if you weren't particularly, around during that era. If maybe you're a more recent viewer, or you're not a player of AFL games between 2004 and 2017 or whatever it was. Yeah, it was really nice to see someone who genuinely had such like a passion and love for him as a human to deliver that, and it wasn't this sort of generic like, oh yeah, we love Bruce and it kind of his best. I can never get past his line though of when he talks about Adam Uze and he says terrific young football player, terrible Scrabble hand. It's just like the best of everything that your dad would ever have said to you.
I do remember in high school, I think I was 9 or 10 or something, at the sports carnival. I remember the year 12 boys asking if they could commentate one of the races, and they were sitting in the there wasn't commentating for the sports carnival, but these year 12s asked to do it, and they just were firing out all of these Dennis Cometti-isms. And I just remember at the time being like, who is this man that they're talking about? And then growing to learn who Dennis Cometti was and understanding how funny and clever this was. Them commentating the 1,500-metre race with the Dennis Cometti-isms.
I'm literally like, I'm just looking at, I found the quote about Tony Liberatore, and I absolutely love the ones where he was talking about Peter Everett. Spider had both his legs taken out from under him, leaving only the other 6 to balance. It's almost like this like dawn of like AFL meets like that edgy, unique humor. Like,
do you reckon he wrote them, not writes, R.I.P. Do you think he wrote them down before the game?
I reckon he was just very quick-witted.
Yeah.
Like, you see him in interviews and stuff, and it's like things, he's similar to a comedian. It's like things just come to him, like, in the moment.
Great improviser. Yes, and.
Yes, and there's one more big piece of news this week as minor news. I think we should touch upon it. So Sam Docherty, turns out, foul-mouthed young man he is. Dan Gorringe played a voice note that he asked for from Sam regarding Carlton's performance against Sydney, and then played it in its entirety on his podcast, which had a bit of mixed reviews about that.
I've tried to avoid this because, during Christmas time, there's that thing Whamageddon where people try and avoid the song Last Christmas by Wham.
Yep.
I try and avoid Dan Gorringe content.
Yeah, me
if I
too.
can.
Yeah.
So I've tried to avoid this, and I would just like to know, so this was a personal private voice note Sam Docherty thought was being sent to Dan Gorringe.
Yeah, essentially Dan asked him, hey, what do you think about Carlton's performance? Can you tell me from a behind-the-scenes perspective why they performed the way that they did?
And didn't tell him I'm probably going to play this on the pod.
Well, some media outlets have kind of taken... So Sam Docherty spoke about it kind of the day after it got played, and it kind of got a lot of attention. Some media outlets have taken it and run with it that, he didn't know it was going to be played. He didn't get his permission.
Right.
If you read the whole interview with Sam Docherty, he essentially said that he didn't realize it was going to be played verbatim. He thought that it was just going to be snippets. So that's where there was kind of a difference.
And I think I get that from Sam's perspective, because he is somebody who I imagine is very image conscious, because he's got a pretty clean image football-wise. Like, most people recognise him for his brave charity work, for his ability to miraculously heal multiple ACLs. It felt like he went straight into damage control, but I wonder if people were people really, I didn't see much discourse around it, to be quite honest. It was a bit flash in the pan, so I don't know. I didn't see many people who would be really upset about it, because nothing he said was untrue.
Exactly. That's what kind of got me. I did like that in his interview he kind of said he didn't apologize for what he said. He just said apologies for the language.
The language, right.
Yeah, but he kind of doubled down on what he said, which he has every right to. He's not a part of the club anymore. He's not contracted to them. He doesn't have to say nice things. And as you said, nothing that he said was not untrue. So, like, yeah, it annoys me with the media that it's like you want people to kind of tell the truth about clubs, but then when someone does, they're like, oh, look at him, he's telling the truth.
Not that true.
Yeah, like, he was completely honest. Like, yeah.
Maybe this is just sort of like we haven't looked into it enough, but to be quite honest, I didn't want to delve into the discourse if there was any. I don't think anything he said was that offensive, and I think if you're offended by it, grow up.
No, he just said fuck a few times. That was it.
He literally only said fuck a few times.
Yeah.
I have sworn more than that at things that matter less.
Exactly. Yeah, he said fuck a few times, and he told the truth that Carlton's midfield got smashed in the second half, and that there was no backup plan. That was basically the summary of everything
Carlton
he said.
can't run out games, and water is wet.
Yeah.
Sam Dockett.
How dare he? But just add an up out of, and water is fucking wet. Oh, how dare he?
I can't believe you would say that. Water in this day and age. We missed the early season, and we didn't get to tell you listeners all of our predictions. So we have brought to you a condensed version of our top and bottom fours. Now, we're each going to be presenting them one at a time with an opportunity for questions from the other cast members at the end. We're going to start with you, Jess. Jess, can you give me your bottom four selections? So let's start from, what's the fourth from the bottom? 14th.
15th?
15th.
Numbers.
15, 16, 17, 18, is that right?
Yeah, that's it. 15
Got it.
inclusive.
Yes. So I had North 15th. Yeah, I'm feeling cautiously optimistic that they're not going to be right at the bottom.
Mhm.
And then just below them, I've got Essendon. Sorry, Jessie. I'm not confident that they're going to win an awful lot of games this year. 17th, I've got Richmond. It was a bit iffy, but I don't think they're going to get up. And then, of course, West Coast at the bottom again.
Just like how bad things have gotten for North, that Jess saying she's got him 15th, Clarkey enthusiastically went, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Fourth last for the 10th year in a row. Yeah, that's not bad.
Well, it's higher than where I had them. Spoilers. Any other questions for Jess about? I think you've underestimated Richmond, I would probably argue.
I think that too. I also think that.
What, you reckon they're going to be above Essendon?
Yes.
I have them above Essendon, yes.
Do you? 16th? Okay.
We'll see in a few minutes' time.
We'll find out.
I'm excited.
I think, I am not surprised by any of those teams. I'm probably maybe a little bit surprised by Essendon, but then I looked at my mostly complete ladder predictor and went, huh, yeah, okay. There's no more questions. We'll move on. Chris, can you please share with me your bottom four?
Yes, in 15th I have Richmond.
Very
So
good.
moving up the ladder slightly. 16th North. I don't like North, but even I really wanted to say they'll finish like 11th. I wanted to have them somewhere up the ladder, but I can't do it. Yeah. 17th I have Essendon. So second last. And last West Coast.
Very good. Why? Well, you know what? I want to wait till to see if we've all got some consistencies there before I ask some more questions. But it feels like we've got a bottom four locked in at least, and I'm glad that none of them include Melbourne. So
Not yet.
Not yet. But Melbourne haven't played yet, which is great for their stocks. Cass, can you share with me your bottom four?
Now, I believe you, Clarks, you've done the ladder predictor by, round by round, game by game to work out your ladder. And Chris and I discussed off, probably both kind of gone on vibes, which I did last year as well. And you all laughed at me when I put West Coast last. And what have you all done? put West Coast last. So yes, I also put West Coast last in 18th. Because
It's
that's
so
how I
funny to
start
be
my
like,
letters.
man, we really overestimated West Coast last year by putting them 17th.
17th. No. They got to be worse than that. All right, so I've put West Coast 18th again. I put Richmond 17th again. And then because I was going purely on vibes, for 16 I put Port and 15 I put the Saints.
16 Port.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked by the Saints. What the?
Yeah, nah, just get them out of there.
Get them. You know what? We're now a get them out of their podcast because I let Jess come on last week and then say full chested that Melbourne were going to win a premiership this year.
Wow.
I just imagine being St Kilda, spending $2 million for Naz, bringing in TDK on 1.6 or whatever it is, bringing in Flanders, all these players, complete overhaul, and then finishing bottom 4.
Yeah, all to finish 15th.
I do things like this to manifest because I just
Actually
think it'd be the
delicious.
funniest.
Ross would not survive the season if that was the case.
You know what? And I don't think any Saints fans would. We spent how much on Nas? And that brings me to show you all my bottom, which is 15th. 15th, I have the Richmond Tigers. In 16th, I have North Melbourne. In 17th, I have Essendon. And in 18th, I've got West Coast.
We've got
Nothing
the exact
surprising.
We've got the exact same bottom, Clarky.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Nice.
Matching bottoms.
Thick and juicy. just how we like them. Now, I want to ask for are we underestimating Essendon because they had a really terrible year last year?
Well, I
Surely
mean,
they can't again, right?
There were a
It
lot
was
of
all
injuries
injuries,
last year.
yeah.
Outside of the injuries, I just don't know if they're going to be any good. That's my issue.
I was saying to you guys off mic that I think we should do our full ladder. You send them to me and I'll get them on socials so people can see our full ladder. But we're not going to go into everyone, but I put Essendon as 8th because I thought it'd be quite funny for the podcast for Jesse to leave the podcast because his team was awful and then they finish in the top 8 and make finals. I mean, not officially because of the wild card round, but I still think it'd be funny if they finished top 8.
Oh, that would be even better if they finally finished top 8 and then didn't make the finals because of the wild card round. They got knocked out in the wild card round. That would be even better.
There are 2 options that are very funny. One, Essendon make a final and win a final. Jesse's not here.
Number 2,
Essendon make a final, lose a final.
Number
Jesse's
3,
not here. Yeah.
make the wild cards, not make
the
finals.
wild cards, not make finals.
Would
Not make real finals.
I have a question. So, would Essendon fans count it as the curse being broken or the streak being ended if they made the wild card round, won the wild card, but then lost in finals? Does the wild card count as a final?
I mean, winning the wild card gets you to the finals, so that would
Yeah.
count for them.
I don't
wouldn't
think
it?
it's a final.
It's not a final. It's
Okay,
the final before the finals.
So they wouldn't. That wouldn't end the streak. The streak
No.
would continue. Okay.
I mean, if they won the wild card, they get into the finals, right? So that breaks the streak. But if they get to the wild card and lose the wild card, no.
Just tell me if you agree. But I think if people are going to put an asterisk on Melbourne's 2021 grand final win because it was in Perth, then I'm going to put an asterisk on every team that wins a final after making the play-ins.
Yeah, I agree.
No easy.
It's not real.
You didn't even make the top 8.
I still don't understand it though. I'm still foggy on like when is this happening and
It's in that
It
week
just
where
feels-
Essendon and Gold Coast played last year. You know that week?
so
That's fair week.
when we have a break
Yeah.
when they play.
Yeah,
Right.
the
wild card
pre-finals bye, instead of there being a pre-finals bye, there's now a pre-finals final.
Yeah, there's not going to be.
I mean,
more teams.
we win as the audience so that we don't miss out on any football,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure the game wins.
The game always loses.
I think
Yeah.
I think it keeps things interesting. Remember how tight 6 to 11 has been in previous or 6? Yeah, it's been tight the last few years.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it keeps. I mean, Chris, your team kind of finishes in that position quite a bit.
Whoa,
Except for my last
whoa.
Let's-
I don't
let's
want to
be
give
real.
anything
Whoa.
away.
I love that. I saw Cass on the run up to that, like a batter at the base, just like wiggling the top of her bat. Like, come on, baby, this is it.
It keeps
Knocked
your
it
team
out of
in
it.
the loop.
Speaking of keeping things interesting, should we get to our top 4s?
Yeah, okay.
Should we get to our top 4s? Chris, I want to start with you.
This is perfect timing after what Cass just said. So first on the ladder, I have Sydney. I mentioned last week. I'm very big on Sydney this season. So yeah, I've got them. I think that they're going to smack the competition for most of the year. Second, I have Gold Coast. If you asked me this prior to opening round, I probably wouldn't have had Gold Coast second, but they just looked that fucking good. Third, I have the Western Bulldogs. No wild card round for us.
Well, you already live every round as a wild card round when Bevo's in charge, and I'm never going to get sick of that joke.
Did you see Bevo singing on Fox Footy after the game? Oh no, wait, you did. You couldn't even watch the second half.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
And fourth, I have Brisbane.
Yeah, okay, that's solid. Yeah, that's a bit of a rival. I have no notes on that. Yeah, Sid. I mean, we've got the benefit of one game. So I think that's kind of shaded some of our top four aspirations because we saw a lot of teams that are supposed to be quote unquote good or better this year. So I think we got a little bit of a temp check on to see where some of these guys are. So I'm not against anything that you've said, Chris, yet. We'll see. Let's jump over to Cass.
My top four. I'll do the opposite of Chris. I'll start at 4. I had Gold Coast. 3, I had Brisbane. 2, I had Sydney, because I also think they kind of have a year on and a year off, Sydney. So I think this is their year on. And number 1, I put Fremantle. Because
What a surprise.
what I do, Fremantle 1, West Coast 18.
So you're saying there will be fun in Justin Longmuir's life?
I mean, if he wants some fun in his life, I know how to make some fun. I can win a grand final.
You know what? It's funny because when I'm doing it round by round, every time I look at a Melbourne game and I'm like, tip Melbourne. I'm going to tip Melbourne. Melbourne should win that one. I'm going to tip Melbourne.
What do you know? They're finishing first.
What do you think? Melbourne haven't lost a game all season and neither have Fremantle. Weird. Despite playing each other twice. Do you really think Fremantle?
I always do. You have
We
to.
haven't had a chance to ask you, Cass. Do you believe this year?
Yep. Please
No notes.
take that pause how you want. Yes. Yes, I believe. Do I sound like I believe?
Not really. You sound like you love your football club.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, not even that. Jess.
No, I do.
Premiership predictor, Jess. What is your top 4?
Let's go. Look, this is just based on me doing the stupid tipping thing. So it's not necessarily come out how I would have done it if I did the vibes.
I got to be honest, I did push Jess into doing the squiggle predictor because I was like, it's just easier. And then it's just like, you just tap a bunch of things.
I didn't realise how labour intensive it was going to be though. My God. Anyway, we've got Brisbane number 1, which I'm not happy about, but it's probably likely. Chris, Bulldogs, second.
Yes.
Gold Coast, third. And Sydney, fourth. So I think me and you are similar, Chris. We've got the same people, just in a different order.
Yeah.
So that's validating, at least.
Interesting. None of you have Fremantle up there. Okay.
No, I had Freo 5th on my ladder.
Okay.
I have Freo 6th on mine.
I also have Freo 5th.
Okay, good to know.
See? We do love you.
See, we are a pro cast podcast. Yeah.
All your teams are much lower down. I'm so sorry.
No, we don't take it personally. Yeah, it's if you can't love me at my best, then you can't love me at my all, or whatever it is. Worth 2 in the bush, I think is what that is.
I think it's, yeah.
Yeah. My top 4, extremely similar. I've got, in number the 4th, I've got Gold Coast. In 3rd, I have Brisbane. In 2nd, I have the Western Bulldogs. And in 1st, I have Sydney. Something that's pretty common. I think we've all got roughly the same top 4, apart from Cass swapping the Bulldogs for Freo.
Sucked in, Chris. No, but good. I think it's good that, Geelong, Collingwood, they're outside. Also,
fuck them off.
None of us have mentioned Adelaide, who finished top last year. Interesting.
Adelaide was 5th in mine.
Okay.
8th for me.
I had them
Jessica going to refer to the tomes because she only brought her homework. and not the extra credit
Look.
assignments.
Adelaide are 10th on mine, but they
Ooh,
are on the
10th.
same win-loss as Melbourne. So actually, it was because I wasn't paying attention to the margins, and that's why Melbourne are lower down.
Oh, you
Melbourne
can just switch. You can switch those.
Melbourne are going to get in
Yeah.
with the wild card, and we're going to have the same caveat that we had with the grand final, and people are going to go, it doesn't count because they finished 10th. And we're going to show them.
Yeah.
All the way to the flag, baby.
I've also got Melbourne on their way to an Asterisks premiership at 10th. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I've got a lot more sliders than I thought I would. And they're probably going to be wrong. Anyway, check our full ladders up on the socials. We won't give away too much of the GOAT now, but we'll move over to the round that actually did happen and not our predictions, which was opening round that started off with Sydney versus Carlton. Not a whole lot to say about this game. It pretty much went exactly the way that we thought it should, in my opinion, except Carlton kind of tricked me in the first half until I remembered. I say remembered. Lekdog reminded me of this is exactly what Carlton do, where they had a very strong first half, and then Sydney came out the second half and went, psych.
It's one of these things where you're like watching the scores and you go, oh yeah, this is interesting. Oh, Sydney's not really scoring many goals. Oh, okay. And then you like look at your phone again at the end of the third quarter and go, what? They scored 12 goals in that quarter alone? What?
That third quarter was
Insane.
nuts. It was Errol Goulden just went absolutely bananas in that quarter. The thing that got me is everyone was saying, like Clarky, you said that Carlton had you in the first half. I actually didn't think that Carlton played that well in the first half. I just thought that Sydney were really bad in the first half. They were turning it over constantly. It was like the ball was covered in Vaseline because they just could not keep hold of it. Carlton just kind of just played okay. And then it was just in the second half, Sydney just finally turned it on.
Not to quote the great Sam Doherty, but essentially I love watching Carlton's contested football when it's really good. And then that was what that first half was because, and maybe it is because Sydney were playing poorly, but I think Carlton did really well to capitalize on that and to hold what felt like, regardless of how it looks in hindsight, at the time when you're watching the game, it did feel like they had control of the game and they had control of the tempo and that they were really pushing it. And then Sydney came out and took it away from them like I would from my own child when she grabs something that she's not meant to. Just yank and it's gone. She doesn't even register that I've taken it out of her hands. 63 points is diabolical.
It was, and I mean, the reason why I've got Sydney so high as well, obviously they've got a very talented team, but I think that their forward line looked so different having that focal point of Charlie Curnow up there. He just added so much presence, and that was what they've lacked in the last couple of years. So yeah, it went pretty much exactly as I thought it would.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Disappointed but not surprised. Just the classic Carlton shenanigans. Same thing every year.
Yeah, because I know, Jess, one of your mini beefs does include Sydney.
Yeah, look, I'm turning the tides a little bit. It's the fans I don't like. The Sydney fans I don't like. The team, I do have a soft spot for Curnow, so that's turning me a little bit.
Specifically that one guy. That one guy who really pissed us off at that Melbourne-Sydney final. Was it in 20...
Yeah, who damn near burst my eardrum singing his club song into my ear in front of his young daughters, which was a real role model situation.
There were two
his
great
giant
moments
beer belly.
after the game where classic Curnow didn't know the words to the song when they won. It's his first time having to sing it. And I don't know if you guys saw the beverage company that he has with Dacos and Bailey Smith. They released a new flavour of Carlton Tears. Interesting.
Rude.
Rude. The blueberry drink flavour was the Carlton Tears. Carlton fans' tears sucked in.
Yeah, cool. Yep.
Apparently it's not real, but edited, but what I also think is funny. Good.
Hey, look, if they did it, then that would be right up Bailey Smith's alley. Just like losing to Gold Coast by 56 points is? Is that a transition? Question mark. Hey, Gold Coast came out and beat Geelong 125-69. Nice.
Nice.
Shit, the Suns, guys, what the hell?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, Clarks, it must have been
Clark's
painful.
plural.
Clark's
Must have been
plural.
painful for you watching Christian Petrarca just absolutely. I mean, he's probably gotten 3 Brownlow votes out of that game. He absolutely tore it apart. But watching him and basically a clone in Bailey Humphrey, they played almost exactly the same style. The nuts thing about this team is that they were so much fun to watch. I really enjoyed watching them. It was just such a fun brand of football that they still have the reigning and current Brownlow medalists to come back.
Mm.
And about 5 top 25 academy picks from the last 3 years that weren't playing, one of which is a top 5 pick from last year, Dylan Patterson. Like, this team is going to be scary.
Mm.
Turns out, when you get a lot of concessions, eventually it pays off. Concession after concession, and here we go. Where do I start? I don't want to talk about Christian Petrarca too much, because I think a lot of people were like, oh, Melbourne must be really sad about that. And I'm like, he wouldn't have done this at Melbourne.
Mm.
I'm like, I'm holding the stats board and I'm like, these are the stats of a man who is happy with where he is, and that's great for him. I genuinely think that him leaving was best for everybody. So I didn't feel any pain in it, but it was a little bit like, guess he can kick straight now. It's like almost like
No,
saying
that's how I felt though. Like people going, ooh, and it's like even with Clayton Oliver, like they said the same with that. Like, oh, they've both had these really great games. Yeah, but they weren't doing that last year. So like, it's not really a loss to us, is it? Because if we kept them, they still wouldn't be doing it. So we actually haven't lost anything. We've gained other talent.
Yeah, it's when it comes to like players for me, and I think this is the thing that we need to sort of move towards when we become a little bit looser with how we think about players moving. It was the same thing when like people expected everyone to be upset about Luke Jackson leaving Melbourne. I was like, yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed about that, but obviously if he's happier in Freo, that's what matters, because that's how he's going to play the best football and, you know, be the best human that he can hopefully be and role model in person. And for Christian Petrarca and Clayton Oliver, seeing them have really good weekends, and Christian Petrarca literally had a career best game. Literally like his best game ever. And that's fantastic. Like that's the sign of a man who is letting go of the past and moving forward. Good for him.
I mean,
I think Gold Coast are really in with the flag chance this year. Surely, right?
I hope not.
Yeah.
I just.
They can't beat Freo.
I just
How are they going to do it?
don't want a team newer than my team to win a premiership, another new team before, yeah.
Or it feels like you should have got Christian Petrarca then, because that might be the answer to your problems.
Yeah, you should have really asked for Lockie Deal back.
Because apparently he's in his peak form, he's telling everybody.
Sure.
Funny thing, after this game, I don't know if you saw this on social media, Bailey Smith was waiting for an Uber outside the ground and some random family picked him up and gave him a lift.
I love that.
I did not see that.
Really?
Is that real? I saw the photo of him. He's flipping the bird.
Yeah, with the kids in the
in the
back
passenger
seat.
seat with the kids in the back seat.
And the
because
mum
that's
messaged
his
to be
brand.
like, thank you so much for being so lovely. The kids were like, had the best time while we gave you a lift, basically.
There's so many parts of me, like, he's kind of a dick on field sometimes, but I really just hope that he's like he's as cool of a guy as he presents himself.
He's just a 23-year-old kid. It's like, what else do you expect?
Yeah, for sure. Well, something that we didn't expect was the Giants defeating the Hawks 122-95, and the Giants put the pedal down all day and felt like Hawthorn couldn't get near it, even though it's only a 27-point margin. I remember watching this game and just being like, Hawthorn do not seem on pace at all.
I was very happy about this result because I thought with GWS's injuries, I didn't think there were any chance going into this. But I just really don't like Hawthorn, and I feel like they're overrated with the whole Huck ball thing, and everyone started loving Guinea and the Wiz and everything. And I feel like we all kind of turned on them a little bit when they did that thing with the clinic with the kids where they were too hungover to rock up. So fuck them. I thought this was great. And I mean, Sam Mitchell now turning to AI. It's just funny watching them lose now.
It's actually like the perfect way to squander some wonderfully viral positivity.
Exactly. But like GWS, to their credit, I didn't expect them. I didn't think they were any chance in this. I thought that with their injuries, they were going to have not quite an Essendon last year season, but a tough season.
A slow start.
Yeah, but I mean, they looked good. So yeah, I think that there was some really positives. I mean, they've still got Sam Taylor to come back in the next few weeks, but Fonte looked really good down back, kind of filling that Sam Taylor role. So maybe this has given them an opportunity to unearth some younger talent.
I didn't know that Tom Hanks was at this game until I saw a friend of the show, Jesse, tweeting that Tom Hanks is going to think that Jake Stringer is one of the greatest footballers to ever play the game. And I was like, why would he think that? 14 disposals, 5 goals, 4 behinds, 360 meters gained. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, that's an insane numbers from Stringer. A man who he thought was practically dead.
It was
Do we know
funny.
why Tom Hanks was there?
I don't think we know, but it was funny watching the actual broadcast because I was watching it live. And in the first quarter, the commentators kind of kept saying like, oh, there's a big star here. There's a big movie star. We won't quite say who it is just yet. And I was like, oh, it's going to be fucking someone from Home and Away or some bullshit. This is what they always do. They talk it up and be like, oh, there's a big star here. And it's just fucking Eric Banner. Who, I mean, good on him. Eric Banner's a big star.
He is a movie star, yeah.
But like when he's at the footy, you're just kind of like, yeah, I mean, he's a St Kilda supporter. He's always fucking there. But then when they cut to it, it was Tom Hanks. I was like, what?
That is a movie star.
What
And
the hell is Tom Hanks doing
I
at NG Stadium?
I said to my wife, I was like, Tom Hanks is at the football. She's like, why is he at the football? I was like, why is he in Western Sydney? This is just weird.
I know a lot of stuff is being filmed in Australia at the moment because it's cheaper for Americans, but
He's
Yeah,
filming a
interesting.
movie.
there you go.
Allegedly, according to the internet, he's filming a sequel to
The Elvis
World War II
movie?
drama.
Ah.
Called- a sequel to this movie called Greyhound that I've never seen either.
It was funny when the commentator, like when they panned to him, one of the commentators went, Green Mile. And I was like, it's interesting that that's the movie that commentator chose. What would you say? If the camera panned to Tom Hanks, what movie would you bring out first?
All right, hang on, let's all have a. Hey, Jess, I hear that Tom Hanks is here.
Is he filming Toy Story 17?
Very good. Hey, Chris, I hear that Tom Hanks is here at the game today.
Oh, Castaway.
Castaway.
Hey,
Interesting.
Kaz,
fucking
I hear
amazing
Tom
movie.
Movie star Tom Hanks is here.
The Elvis movie.
The unnamed Elvis movie.
Look, I gotta be honest, guys. You've all missed the trick. It's Polar Express all day. Tom Hanks.
I've never
star
seen
of
it.
Star of every person in the Polar Express.
Actually, I
Chris,
think
I'm
that's what the
not shocked
commentator
you
did. He
haven't
went
seen
Green Mile, but he also said big. So he's done
Yeah, you know,
really far back.
yeah. You gotta give.
Turner and Hooch. All right, let's just go around the room and everybody name a Tom Hanks
Tom
movie
Hanks
until you can't name one anymore. That's what the fifth quarter is this week.
That's what the fifth quarter is this week. Well, hey, instead of talking about Hooch, why don't we talk about the Western Bulldogs? Is
Good one,
Hooch the
yeah.
dog? Or is
I
it,
think so.
Is Hooch?
Yeah, Hooch
dog.
is the dog. Yeah.
That's right. This was the game of the week, and it would have been nice if I could have watched it, KO. Western Bulldogs won this one 111 to Brisbane's 106 in a sensational thriller. Jess and I watched the first half of this together, and then we had to go home. And then when we got home, KO was like, I'm not working. And we tried for it. It was out for an entire half. We looked it up. It happened to many, 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 many people. And then Jess said one of the funniest things I've ever heard, which is, they're asking everybody to get on board. We're on board. Where the fuck are they? Genuinely, yes. So can someone fill me in on why the second half of actually Jess and I in on why the second half of this game was so scintillating?
Well, luckily I was one of the people who this didn't happen to. I was able to watch the whole thing, which is good. It was a weird game. Like at halftime, I said to my wife, we were down by I think about 3 points. And it had been that way pretty much for the whole first half. There was only about, I think the highest margin was maybe 9 points. It was very close the whole first half. But I said to her at halftime that it's an odd game because I didn't think we were actually playing that well. It was really odd, but we just kept sticking with them. And we actually had more shots on goal than them. At one point, we had 4 or 5 more shots on goal than them in the first half. And Yeah, it was a weird game because it was like we weren't really getting our hands on the ball that much, but when we did, we were quite efficient at going forward with it. And that was probably the only thing to really take away from it. The biggest kind of thing that happened in this game is, we knocked off the reigning premiers on their home turf. It was the unfurling of the flag, and we managed to come away with the win. I think the biggest thing for supporters is that the first time in probably the last 3 years, we were actually able to stop a team that got a run on, which that has been our biggest issue for the last 2 or 3 years, is that we get out in front, or we're really close with teams, and then in the third quarter, they kick 6-7 goals on us, and we just can't stop the run. And that was exactly what happened here. Was Brisbane in the third quarter started to kick away. I think they kicked 4 or 5 in a row. And then all of a sudden, it just completely turned. With about 5 minutes left in the third quarter, we just turned it on and just went nuts and went on our own run. And then it was just back and forth in the last quarter. The last quarter was incredibly entertaining. If KO lets you, I would recommend you should go watch it. So yeah, that was probably the biggest thing for me as a supporter, is that it showed some progress on our biggest issue from the last 2 to 3 years that we've all been complaining about. So yeah, it was a really exciting win.
That Bailey Williams goal might be one of the best things that I've ever seen.
Bailey Williams too?
Yeah.
Because Bailey Williams doesn't do a whole lot, but that was a really good goal.
It's just the fobbing off of like 3 different sets of opponents.
Yeah, and then being like, do I kick it? No, do I? You know what? I'll just do it myself. I love when players are like, you know what? I'm just I'll do it, and then actually follow through with a goal.
It was nice to see Bailey Williams have a good game, and then Bont kicked 2 goals, but he only had 19 touches. It's not like he had his usual kind of game-winning.
Was he down forward?
At one point he was sitting at full forward in the second half.
Bevo, what are you doing, Bevo?
Well, Ed Richards just put on an absolute clinic and had a huge game. There were even some, Sam Darcy wasn't that influential either, so it was nice to see some other players kind of step up. Rory Lobb was huge. Jordan Croft had some good moments. Rory Lobb was huge in his 200th game.
What did he have written on his head this time?
It was Roman numerals for 200, but then he also had the colours and mentions of the amount of games he played for GWS, Freo and the Bulldogs, and he had them in the GWS, Freo and Bulldogs colours.
Okay.
So it was like a tribute to all 3 teams.
Okay.
Yeah. It was one of his weirder ones.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Starting to feel quite elaborate. Like, is he going to run out of head at some point?
I'm still worried how often he bleaches his head. It's not good to do that
and
so
it's
often.
seeping through to the brain now.
Yeah. Well, it's either that or the concussions that get you, right? One of the two. Speaking of concussions, Harris Andrews got 3 weeks for a hit on Artie Jones, which has once again brought up the question of intent in relation to penalties on hitting a player in the head. Personally, I think that if you hit a player in the head after looking back at them and going, yeah, I could put some body on them, and then you smack them in the head, probably get 3 weeks. That's pretty consistent with what's been happening. How do you guys feel this? Which way of the fence did this fall for you?
I thought the same thing. Watching it in the moment, the initial camera angle was from behind, and I thought, it's just an accidental, his arms he hasn't meant anything, his arms accidentally hit him. But then when they showed the other angle, the front-on angle, you can clearly see him kind of look back to see where Artie is, and then he swings his arm. So, the intent was there. So, the players know you got to protect the head now. You hit the head, they end up concussed. It's probably going to be 3 weeks.
Do you think Brisbane will be accepting this 3-week ban, or do you think they'll be contesting it?
I think they've already said they're going to challenge it.
Hell yeah, of course they are. Why not? It did remind me, I was talking to Jess and I were at her brother's, and we were talking about it there, and it reminded me of in 22 or possibly 3, where Cozzy Pickett cannonballed Bailey Smith in the head, and he got 1 week for that.
Yeah.
And I think back to that moment now where I'm like, that's like 3 months off from football now.
At the time, I was really annoyed at that, but in hindsight, we probably should have just cheered him for taking out Bailey Smith.
in hindsight, I have a lot of spite, says Chris. Yeah. Cass, Jess, is this the way you expected this one to go for Brisbane's first game in their championship defence?
I did not think that they would lose. No, they did this last year, didn't they? Didn't they lose the first few back after winning a premiership?
I'll
Don't know.
check
Yeah, there
the,
was.
I'll
They
check the
weren't
stats.
looking too crash hot at one
Yeah.
point because my big boss at work is a real diehard Brisbane fan, and I remember teasing him for ages and going, "What happened? What happened? They look like they're shit." And he was going, "Don't you worry, we're gonna come back. Don't you worry about it. I'll be at that grand final." And lo and behold, it did happen. And I was livid about
Looking
it.
looking back in 2025, I had to tell you guys, Brisbane won their first 4 games.
Okay. Maybe it was the other
First
time they
5
won a
Was it the year before?
premiership. The other time.
I think last year Brisbane had a pretty sluggish middle of the season somewhere.
There was another time they won a premiership. You know, they've won quite a few recently.
Yeah,
And
let's not talk.
and they had pretty bad hangover, didn't they, with Zorko? Anyway, Jess's
In
favourite
fact,
player.
looking at it, Brisbane have won their first 8 as I go back through 2020.
Okay, so I got my years
No,
wrong. Who
And
knows
then
what
had-
year this is
Yeah.
anymore?
And then they had a draw with North Melbourne in round 9, which is crazy. And then Melbourne beat them the week after. That's when it all went downhill.
Yeah,
That's
No,
when
I
it all
think
went
it's
good
down.
times, good times.
Sure. Okay. Yes, this is how I expected it to go because of in my brain how I remembered last year.
I had that feeling about Brisbane as well, where they kind of really like snuck through the year. Like it felt like they were a threat, and then all of a sudden I completely forgot about them for like most of last year. And then next thing I know, I'm like, oh, Brisbane are the strongest team in the competition at the moment. Like Sydney left it a little bit too late to kind of come back through anything. I'll be interested to see Brisbane versus Sydney in round 1. That'll be really interesting without Harris Andrews. But hey, let's talk about final game that was more interesting than we thought it would be, and that was St Kilda versus Collingwood, where Collingwood came out 12-point victors in this one, 78 to St Kilda's 66. Nasai Wanganeen-Malira was kind of the biggest call out for St Kilda for me, where his first game as, you know, the big dog, we all know what he's capable of, and he was kind of tagged out of it and really not impactful and missed that kind of spark that we expected from him. And on the other hand, Collingwood decided that Scott Pendlebury was once again frozen time or somehow reversed it and has 5 to 10 minutes at a time of being the most prolific player to ever exist.
I wonder if there's a lot of people who haven't yet done their fantasy drafts who are changing their mind on Nasaya. Because he's
Hey, I've got him in my team and I'm thinking about changing my mind.
Well, it's interesting because it's like, is it an overreaction to remove him from your team, or is it just wariness that other teams will probably look at St Kilda now and go, yep, Naz can be tagged out of the
he
game.
can be tagged, yeah.
Yeah, and it clearly affected St Kilda because they lost. Like, they didn't have that spark that he brings. So it is an interesting one. You've got to assume that most other teams now going forward will just pay him some attention.
It was looked at in a Supercoach context, but friend of the show, Damo, and my co-host over at the Footy Mailbag for all your Supercoach questions, he noted that Nasaya's most influential games actually came from him playing in the halfback, and there's less data than we think to suggest that he will be a prolific, fantasy-related, but fantasy scorer in the midfield. And I think it's not necessarily that he lacks impact, but he's lacked attention like this before. We see this with all really great players, right? Like it's them learning to compensate and to work around the attention that they now get for being good. Yep. Good job. Collingwood, turns out resting all your old players and then letting them play limited minutes is really good for your team. I thought that they kept St Kilda at bay, and this was actually really exciting as a game generally, until the very last minute where Collingwood just kicked that extra one to sort of put them out of touch.
Do we know why they got this game? Is it just because they're the biggest club? Like the point of the opening round is that it's New South Wales and Queensland teams, right? Why did we get a Victorian game?
Apparently, I'm going purely based off what the commentators said at the start of the game. Apparently, St Kilda asked to...
Can we have a game?
They apparently asked to be put on the big stage.
Okay.
So-
Can we be on like...
So they got opening round.
So
The
everyone
only
else is like,
game...
all we had to do is just ask?
Yeah. They got opening round against Collingwood at the MCG. The only game on the Sunday, and it was a Sunday night. So that was kind of their... Yeah. That was what the commentators were saying. That's all I'm going off of.
Did you guys hear that there was also the threat of another severe weather storm coming, like with the cyclone last year. There was
Yeah.
that almost happened again.
Yeah.
But then this year we don't have the option of a round 25 because of the wild card. So what would they have done? Like the fact that it almost happened again and they didn't plan for something.
Not that I would wish that anything bad would happen to regular civilians, but I wish that those games would get cancelled because I think it would be the funniest and worst thing in the world to see what they do with replacing
It would
those
have been
games.
so easy. Just give them buys in the same week and then play then instead. But they didn't even do that. So
Yeah.
So St Kilda can ask for a game in opening round.
Based on what the commentators said, that's the only evidence we have of this.
That's the only evidence we need.
Can all the teams just ask for opening round to be canned? And then I go, oh, yeah, no worries. That's the joy Justin Longmuir needs in his life. Be able to play opening round.
Is this the second opening round or third?
Second.
And do we feel any different about it this year than we did last year?
No, it was the exact same last year where, particularly on both the Saturday and the Sunday, but more the Sunday, I was kind of like, during the day, I was like, man, I wish I was watching footy right now. I wish I didn't have to wait until 7:10 at night to watch a fucking game. Like,
Yeah, that was weird.
yeah, it got you excited that footy was back, and then you kind of, like, Saturday, you had to wait until fucking 4:30.
Jess
And
literally
then-
asked me what time's the game, and I was like,
Yeah.
7:20, and she's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Horrendous. What on earth is that? Just give us all the games. I'm so sick of being drip fed. I'm not a child.
Exactly. And the annoying thing is that the AFL will still come out and say it was a massive success. Ratings were up. Fan attendance were up. Of course, because it's the start of the fucking season. We all just want to watch some footy.
There's
so
nowhere
yeah,
else for them to
We're all
go.
dying.
yeah, like of course the attendance and the viewership is up because we all want to watch.
Well, I'll be looking forward to actually watching my team next week in real football round. I think all these wins should have an asterisk next to them. That's it. Asterisk and everybody gets one.
I'm excited because I'm going to go to Geelong to watch Fremantle versus Geelong next week.
Oh,
What a treat.
And I was
Yeah.
just in Geelong on the weekend, so I get to go twice in 2 weeks.
very cold and windy
Joy.
down there.
Mm. But this time I'll be up close to Bailey Smith, Chris.
Cass is going to get
Maybe you can give him a lift home.
Give him a lift home if he needs it. Hopefully, I see him
Tell him
waiting
to
on the
jump in.
side
You
of the
can
road.
chuck it on a sign.
Well, there's two options that are really funny here. One, Cass gives Bailey Smith a lift home and doesn't let him out until he gives a soundbite for the Falcon. Or number two, Cass pitch invades and then cannonballs Bailey Smith a la Closey Pickett 2022 and gets 4 weeks.
But I'll still get the soundbite. Don't you worry.
So the soundbite will be crunching.
Before we move on from this game, we actually have some breaking news, which has just come
Breaking?
out. Yes, breaking news. 13 minutes ago.
Oh.
Just about a subject that we were talking about earlier. Former Carlton co-captain Sam Docherty has been withdrawn from a Carlton function at the MCG on Thursday night after his criticism of the club.
Ooh.
That's so funny. That's
Blues-
so funny.
Blues CEO Graham Wright said in a statement to Channel 9's Footy Classified, "We made a decision based off supporting our own people internally." So Carlton have essentially sanctioned Sam Docherty by telling him you
That's-
can't come for a free dinner.
That's insane. That's insane behavior, Carlton. I'm gonna go on record and saying Carlton fans and the Carlton Football Club are made up of A, the most thick-skinned people in the world, and B, the thinnest skinned people in the world. And there's no in between. I've never met a moderate Carlton fan. Like, these are the two people. There's one people I love Carlton and I'm in now and everything's fine. Like whatever happens, it doesn't matter. And then the other people are like, don't you fucking talk about my club. Don't you say anything. I don't care. I want to hear it.
Just let players have personalities. It's so boring.
Yeah, guy who was good at football and with the Carlton Football Club for decades says thing that is true about Carlton Football.
It says true.
Well, you can't come to my dinner anymore. You can't come to dinner.
It has big, you're not invited to my birthday party energy about it.
Jess uninvited me to her birthday for a similar comment at home.
Well,
It's true.
I'm sure you deserved it.
Well, it was all the F's and Jeffs, really, that got me in trouble. But what doesn't get me in trouble is manning the fifth quarter. I've made a game. It's back. I made a game this week. I have with me 6 options. And what is contained within these options, I hear you asking? Somebody ask me for the theatre.
What's in the options?
What's in the options is translated AFL club songs. I put them into Google Translate. I translated them a bunch of times to different languages, and then I brought the output to you, and I need you to tell me whose football club song is it?
Great.
Okay.
If you get it right, you get a point, and if you don't get it right, you don't get a point, and the person who has the most points wins, and if there's a tie, I'll figure that out at the end.
If there's a tie, you have to sing your club song in Spanish.
Yes. Sí.
Si, senor.
Mucho grande. We're going to start with Cass. Cass,
Okay.
pick a number between 1 and 6.
4, please.
Number 4. Okay. I'm going to read you those lyrics now. Am I a good game show host? No.
You're doing great.
Everyone yearns for truth. We call upon you with this song. What song can you sing? How can we forget our friends of many years? Focus on architecture.
I misunderstood how the game was going to go. I thought you were going to read it in a different language.
No, I
And-
figured you started in English, then it went to a few different languages, and then came back to English, right?
Yeah, no, I've got it now. I was waiting to
Yeah.
hear like Brisbaneito or something like that.
I'm going to say GWS.
GWS. Unfortunately, Cass, it was Melbourne.
Ah.
It's a grand old flag. Because, of course, everyone yearns for truth.
Every heart beats true.
Ah.
And we call upon you with this song. What song can you sing? It's what are we sing? Anyway.
What do we sing? Yeah.
Sorry, Cass. 0 points for you. I'm going to go
It's okay.
Jess. Jess, can you hit me with a number between 1 and 6 that isn't 4?
2.
Number 2. The Western family. Red, white, blue. We have arrived.
fuck's
We
sake.
have risen. We are the true animals.
Is it the American national anthem?
Surely the Bulldogs, my second on the ladder.
It is the Bulldogs. This was hard to do because a lot of them have a lot of the club songs have words that are immediately identifiable that I can't get around. Jess, you get a point for that one. Chris, can you pick a number that is 1, 3, 5, or 6?
We'll go 5.
5? Okay. Now, just to be clear, I've only taken the first chunk of the song, the first verse. This one's quite short, Chris, so I'm happy to read it to you a second time.
Okay.
Oh, what a shout. It came from the town. It was a cry of victory.
Is that GWS?
That is GWS, Chris.
Yeah.
That's a banger. Oh, what a shout. It came from the town. It was a cry of victory.
Mid song.
Mid.
Yeah.
It.
It's offensive.
Look, guys, we could do this all day, all right? Chris hasn't seen Polar Express. He hasn't seen The Matrix. This is not new. He has hot takes on nuggets. But what he does have definitely is 1 point.
Yeah.
Cass, background to you.
All right, I'll take 6. Thank you.
Number the 6th. I can overcome. I can lead. Congratulations to the Rangers. We have the sport. It's not a game. It's a landmark.
Cass, you've got the worst one.
I
Cass
know.
definitely
Can't you just
picked
one that
the
has
two.
the colours in it? How about? I bet you didn't put Freo's song into this because it would just be Freo heave ho. How do you
We'll
translate
see.
that?
We'll
Say it again. Sorry if you. No,
I can
forgotten.
overcome. I can lead. Congratulations to the Rangers. We have the power in sport. It's not just a game. It's a landmark for states.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
What is it? Chris, tell me. Secretly.
I'll
tell me.
we'll see if you get it right first.
I
Yeah.
don't know though.
North Melbourne?
Is it Port Adelaide?
It is Port Adelaide.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
think. Port. Because he
It's-
said power.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, we have the power to win. The power to. Yeah.
Yeah. The power to win, the power to roar became I can overcome, I can lead. I don't know how
Okay.
that happened. All right, there's 2 left. Who was next? Jess? I've got 1 and 3.
Give me 1. Number 1.
Number the 1, colored flag forever, sings his name day and night. Raise this beloved flag high. His voice reverberated across the sky with the power of lightning.
See, that one I would have thought was Port.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lightning would have. If Port hadn't been, I would have guessed that. What on earth is that?
Would you like to hear it one more time?
Go on, hit me up.
Colored flag forever. Sing his name day and night. Raise the beloved flag high. His voice reverberated across the sky with the power of lightning.
Is it Sydney?
It is Sydney.
Oh,
That is Sydney.
wow.
Take down the thunder from the sky?
Shake down the thunder from the sky. That's right.
That was
Jess
good.
is on 2.
Let's go.
Chris, to stay in the game, you will have to get this one.
Oh, I can't wait for the tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I have a singular tiebreaker, but it is a buzz-in situation.
Oh.
All right. Using prior techniques, I'll hit you hard and send you flying. Prior, give me that old pig. We are the first artists.
Did you say something about a pig?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's no team called the Pigs, so that's not a hint.
It is not.
Can you read it again?
Using Prior's techniques, I'll hit you hard and send you flying. Prior, give me that old pig. We are the first artists.
I have no fucking idea. I'm gonna take a stab and say Richmond.
It is not Richmond, unfortunately, Chris. It is the Fremantle Dockers.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
What? How? How does that? Which lyric did you feed
Pigs?
in?
Which lyrics did I feed in?
Where the rollers and
I
the
believe it would
rockets?
say, Freo, way to go. Hit him real hard, send you down below. Freo, give him that old heave-ho. We are the Freo Dockers.
The
And I
fuck did
don't know
pigs
whether...
come in?
I don't know. That's not the... I am not a linguist. I am not... This isn't... My wheelhouse was putting it into the machine and taking the output. I'm only mildly above an AI creator because I at least had to manually input this.
This is why Hawthorne's game plan didn't work on the week.
But you know what, Jess? Congratulations on your first Falcon 5th quarter win.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Wow.
You know what? You got a point, Jess. Let's go. This podcast is over now. Thank you for joining me, everyone.
That sounded like AI.
Hello. I am Clarky, your podcast host.
Clarky, we're at the end of the podcast now.
Sorry,
Goodbye.
I'll get that right next time. Would it work better if I said, hey, thank you for joining us? Cassie, where can people find you if they want to find you?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at CassVag.
Chris, where can people find you?
At Lowry_16.
Jess, what is your social media?
At Swanky Jess with 2 Ys.
Beautiful. Or you have a dog page somewhere, I am told.
Mm-hmm. The Spoiled 7.
The Spoiled 7. But most importantly, you can find the podcast, The Falcon, at Falcon Footy Pod across Instagram and X. Our podcast is available on all good podcast platforms. We're also now on YouTube. So if you want to head over and give our YouTube channel a little sub, it's at Falcon Footy Pod. That will help us, and it just gives you another way to get our wonderful show. Ratings and reviews do help. Engagement with our socials does help, but word of mouth helps the most. If you need someone who is missing a football podcast-shaped hole in their life, use us to fill it. We are medically necessary, and you can we are on Medicare.
The AI broke. The AI is
Yeah,
broken.
the AI has gone rampant.
But please do like and subscribe to all of our feeds so you can get the new episodes. We'll be back next week where we can talk about round 1.
Oh, finally, our teams are all playing.
Flag knees, baby. See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.